How's it going, guys? Kyle Kelly from the Island-wide team at eXp Realty, and I'm going to be answering some questions that I typically get from buyers, from sellers, from those interested in the market, trying to debunk a couple myths out there and answer, do a little Q&A session. So one of the biggest questions that I get all the time is, hey, I don't have a CO for my deck or for my extension or for my pool. First, what is a CO? And second, how is that going to affect the sale? So number one, a CO, Certificate of Occupancy. Typically what would happen if you were to do an extension on your home, build a deck, put in a pool, sometimes put in a shed, depending on the municipality, they would want to send out an inspector, number one, to give you the permit to go ahead and get it done. Secondly, you got to have blueprints, you got to have plans, you got to have drawings. Most of the time you got to include an architect in there to stamp off on it. And what happens is a lot of times people go through a little bit of that process, get the permit, and then they never close the permit. Because the second part of doing that is to actually have the town inspector come back out and sign off on everything and give you that CO or Certificate of Occupancy. So just because you bought it like that doesn't mean you can sell it like that. What it does mean is we have to make sure the buyer is willing to accept it as is. That's what you did when you bought the house. If you say, I bought this with no CO, why is it a problem now? You were a buyer willing to accept that property as is. So first we have to find a buyer willing to accept that property with no CO. Second, their lender must be okay with there not being a CO on extension, on a deck, on a pool. I've seen most lenders, especially nationwide lenders in this market, be okay with the majority of those things. But where do we get caught up? We get caught up with the attorneys. Here on Long Island, here in downstate New York, there's an attorney for the buyer, an attorney for the seller, an attorney for the bank, and a title company. So you can't listen to people from other states telling you how it's done there. You can't just Google this because it's done differently here. So the buyer's attorney will typically look over that contract and say, where are the COs for the deck, for the pool, for the extension, for whatever it may be? And the seller's attorney is going to say, no, we're selling as is. And now the attorneys will get into a little bit of a battle. I call it a pissing match. But the attorneys will get into a little bit of a battle, and they're going to decide whether or not their client is ready, willing, and able to accept that property as is. If I'm representing the buyer, and my buyer tells me, I don't care, I'm willing to accept it as is, their attorney's obligation and fiduciary duty to them is to let them know the risks involved. So their attorney is going to let them know, here are the legal ramifications of purchasing this home without the CO in place, and are you willing to accept that? This is where sometimes the deal falls apart. But again, we have been able to put deals together with missing COs just because of the state of the market, just because the ball is kind of in the seller's court right now, right? So sellers, if you've got some deficiencies on title, which is what we call a missing CO, we can go ahead and find the buyer that's willing to accept. We can make sure that we have the right attorneys involved, the right title companies involved, everybody playing nice in the sandbox to get the deal to the closing table. And that's why it's important to work with an experienced agent who knows the ins and outs of all this. Thanks for watching, guys. Pay attention as I'm putting out more of these Q&A series, answering some of the questions that I see all the time. And if you got a question that you want to send me, reach out anytime. 631-831-0912 is my direct cell. Shoot me an email at kkellyny@gmail.com or contact me on any form of social media. Shoot me those questions. Love to put together a video for you to answer your questions. Have a great day. Hey guys, thanks again for watching. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share this with anybody you know that is interested in buying, selling, or just some information about the real estate market. We're always happy to help. And if you hit that little subscribe button where the little bell is over there, you'll get notified every time a new video comes out. So make sure you do that. Have a great day, guys. Take care.